that ruled, cursing all the name of Allah. The founders of the false religion of Mithra. The rulers under Darius that created the false scriptures of Mithra. The founders of the false religion of Judaism in worshiping the Roman emperor as Lucifer. The emperor Vespasian and Josephus, son of Mithra, priest Matthias, being the founders of the false scripture, the unholy
Septuaginta.
The founders of the false religion of Menes and the wicked corruption of the Talmud. The creation of a faith of darkness and worship of demons under Ardasara, and then his grandson Babarab. Persia and Babylon be the birthplace of unspeakable evil, because of the evil inflicted upon them by the pharaohs of the Ram. Thus the abused became the abuser, the victims the oppressor. No greater hatred against the divine and against all life be the madness of the scribes of hate in Babylon.
Before you go any further, have you experienced any hate towards you in this country? If you're melanated or dark-skinned people, that's all you ever faced and experienced. I was born 1951. And the moment I realized that I was a child and could look around, that's all I saw was signs. They wouldn't just say it, but you saw signs with so much hatred. I'll never forget, back in 1970, I was headed to Rochester, New York. And when we crossed the bridge in Savannah, going over, it was a bridge, I never forget it, going over to Savannah, Georgia, and on top of this big building, they had the words wrote, "No niggers allowed." This was wrote on the building, man. And I was on the Greyhound bus, I never forget it. I said, my goodness, this thing is bad. Just seeing this alone. And people live this way and talk this way. Like I told some Europeans, I said, let me tell you something. I said, ain't no baby born come here hating anyone. They have to be taught that. And parents, mothers, and fathers of hatred, this is what they teach their children, how to hate. How to hate. So hatred can keep going on. And this is why we have it a continuation today. Is so much hatred till you just can't. But anyway, I just want to say that on that.
And I want to attend to that, because that hate that you seen, for you to be able to read that sign,
I saw it.
They had to teach you how to read, or they had to teach you the alphabet. So the people who taught you the alphabet so you can see the hate. So the whole thing, the system that we have not seen is the language. You see, if you didn't say what you seen, you could not be heard, or it couldn't be a memory if you was unconscious. So that means the language had to be learned, and then once the language was learned, then they put up signs for you to read. And then for you to know you was a nigga, but to put it in the language, you wouldn't know you were a nigga. So for them to put nigga, that means they trained it into the language and then got from that word and more words like is to create a self-hate.
Yeah.
And then from that point, we started pushing that on in our communities, in our families, and it started slowly getting into children, and now we got generations of it.
Like it's saying, it says the madness of the scribes of hate. In Babylon. And see, the scribes are what are scribing things
These
onto words onto papers, and posters and everywhere around to distract you, to bring you into their magics at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, they magics. Beautiful. And that's what they did. That's a spell.
Yeah.
A spelling.
Yeah.
See, and then through a spelling, they want us to become aware. They ain't saying it.
Yeah.
They spelling it, casting a spell.
Yeah.
They want us to see it and then act.
And we start saying it.
It's yes.
Yeah.
And then we start acting it out.
And saying it.
Right.
So now this is what she's reading about. I bet most people ain't heard of the religion Menez.
No.
Or the religion Mishnah.
No.
Or the religion Talmud. But guess what? That's called the Old Testament. All those are called the Old Testament. It say the false religion of Judaism. Yep. That's Old Testament.
Sure is.
So the whole Old Testament is these unknown names you ain't heard.
Yeah.
That's the Old Testament. This what's been updated to the system of what they would call their most magical system they have now, called the Christ, the kingdom of Christ. So now when you come across that word, when she read Septuaginta, on number 16, the very last word, that's the New Testament. That's the New Testament. That's what the New Testament is called in Greek, the Septuaginta. And so these are the things we have now. Now this is 610 that we have in 2023 called the Holy Book of the Old, filled with the Old Testament and the New Testament, which is 66 books in total, non-canonical. The canon got 81. This is all within they 81. But within the 66, this is left out and given to the slaves for them to be under siege. The spoil, to take their spoils. Because it ain't never stopped for them.
Sure has.
It's all about taking your goods, spoil it, take the spoils of your war, imperialism through land conquer. And through land conquest, re-register the souls. So
yes, indeed.
And she just looked it up. So let's just read what she looked up.
What she looked up?
The word Septuaginta.
Okay.
I just went to Google.
Google
says,
search.
Sometimes referred to as the Greek Old Testament or the translation of the 70 and often abbreviated as LXX, is the earliest extant Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible from the original Hebrew.
Look at that. Look at that. And
that's why the prophet wrote in that type of see XXLX. You see, that's why.
What chapter that?
That's chapter 48. See, that's why it's written in that way. Remember, he said, "I came and crushed the Roman secrets."
Sure did.
This is the Roman secrets. The Roman and the Greeks have merged. So what we know as Greco fraternities and sororities. These are Roman.
That's all in college.
That's all in college.
All in college.
And in religion.
And religion.
So anybody that's part of a religion is a part of this 3 sect.
Look at here. And don't realize.
And don't know this because it's never taught. You don't learn this in seminary school. Why would you? Would you feel like a great person going to teach your people this stuff as a pastor or preacher or any type of teacher? And then you got this blood on your hands? You telling people to pray this way. You telling people to pray. In all their religions, the formation of top religion is prayer. So what are you praying to? Because it's not the creator. Right. These people hate the creator, but they architected the religion. So now this is why it's being revealed with what she reads. You're worshiping man. You're worshiping Lucifer.
Yeah.
See, this is what's called the military. So when we say Roman emperor, that's called the military industrial complex.
Look at that.
So the whole military is put together. They work for Lucifer. Lucifer is the grand general, sovereign, master mason of all masons.
So that explains why on Capitol Hill, and they're getting ready to sign more money to the military. That's them boys.
They serve
That's
Lucifer.
them evil boys.
Right. See, Rome served Lucifer. Remember, it's in the Bible. Lucifer's name is in the Bible.
Oh yeah.
But our people don't know what this is. We think it's a star. We think it's a night. On the earth, everything is an individual person. So when we doing these things, we need to know anything outside of ourselves is referring to something outside of yourself.
That's correct.
So you don't have to pray out loud. So you can pray without saying nothing.
Yeah, that's right.
So that means when you praying out loud, you externalizing something.
Yeah.
So now when you see people bowing down or the entertainers have to do their anthem before all games called occult ceremonies.
Yeah. And
Speaking of that, Milwaukee just had Flavor Flav singing the national anthem.
oh, wait
That's what I said.
Did you hear that, y'all?
Wiping these individuals of low
Did y'all
ignorance
hear that?
through the mud.
Did y'all hear that?
I'm glad you brought it
should be a Negro, only Negroes and lost people sing the Star Spangled Banner. And that's about killing. They don't sing their national anthem, but they sing somebody else's. And it's about rockets going off, bombs being dropped. That ain't peace on earth and goodwill to all mankind. That's imperialism going on in full bloom. And we for some reason, we asleep to all this evil that's going on around us. My goodness. Got us singing songs. And anybody don't stand or pledge allegiance to a flag or stand when they have you to stand every time for they Star Spangled Banner. When they get ready to sing the national anthem, they say, please rise. Remove your hat. Like they getting you in some holy order.
That's why most people ain't fit for leadership and fit for rulership.
That's correct.
Because these ideologies is not for that. This is for all the people to be free. If you notice through your own lifespan, there always been an external force commanding you.
Yeah.
See, the creator is not an external force that commands you.
They did that in school with the Pledge of Allegiance. They have you stand up.
Right. And if you don't,
everybody.
Right. And always, if you don't, there's an external force to bring fear or bring you a threat to make you subject your idea to accept that I'm going to do it. So why is that needed?
Yeah.
See, this is what our people have accepted for over 100 years.
That's right.
They have beat themselves down by accepting this without a fight for themselves. So our people have been flooded. As it said, the floodgate of Noah, they have flooded through religion. The religion is the gate of the floodgate, where a whole new set of words was finna flood in, and we will almost not have no knowledge of self due to this flood. And this is where it comes from, the holy book or the Biblios. The Helios Biblios, comes out of the Heliopolis. All this was made in the same time. So we're going back in the time period to know who is all this.
Yeah.
Never before people didn't know that Lucifer was Roman emperor.
No, they didn't.
And all Masons did not know that their general grand sovereign is Lucifer.
Ooh-wee.
This is what is not being known because of the lack of light. They not shedding light.
Yeah.
If you shedding light, you'll be getting it just like this instantly. Hearing all things you never heard, and it'll instantly impact you. Because this is what truth is. It's instantaneous. So as she just confirmed, the New Testament of the Septuaginta. Oh yes. This is why everybody's carrying out these wicked actions.
22.
Yeah, 22.
No man so affected by addiction, lighthead, and drunkenness have written such filth against moral law than the insane scribes of Babylon.
Ooh-wee.
Yet their anger and hatred against the law has no end, for they do not know its beginning. Thus, history repeats itself upon the merchants in the Umayyad, in those seen as possessing special powers, once again rally the poor, the fearful, and the ignorant to do their bidding.
Look at them. Got us doing all these bidding for us right
now. Now take that in today's stance as your politicians.
Yeah.
These are the people that people are casting the perception that they have special powers.
Yeah.
And they always doing a rallying people together for a specific purpose, and that's to vote for them. Meaning to do their bidding.
Yeah.
So when we are understanding that these people have no end to the hate of yourself. These people will have you hating yourself to the very end, where in the grave you'll go hating yourself. And hating all the ones that look like you when these people ain't did nothing.
Ain't done
but
nothing
fell into the same pits that everybody fell in.
Yeah.
So no one is responsible under those terms, because this is unconsciousness.
Yeah.
No one is really conscious of what they doing.
Yeah.
They're not conscious of what they worshiping, conscious of what they working for, conscious of anything internal. They conscious of everything external, and that's by external force.
Yeah.
Somebody will leave you, somebody get mad at you, somebody do this. Some external force is pivoting a power over another force, and since you're in a lesser position, you begin to beyond and accept these ideologies right here that we reading about. This is filthy mindset to think that another person externally can govern all of humanity.
Ain't that a kicking in?
And tell every individual what to do, how to think, and the way to act with your own life that he didn't even make.
That's right.
So when we talking about the understanding of the Creator, we talking about a consciousness that has to be reformed from learning all this BS.
Yes.
This is BS that has been learned for over 400 years since they've been over here.
Yes, indeed. So now that explains why that the melanated people will go outside their race and their own kind ain't good enough no more, that they got to marry somebody else to look opposite them, such as the European. And the majority of our peoples, this is what they're doing. Male and female, they marrying. They going out of their race into another race. They leaving the origin and going to the unnatural. They are natural and leaving the natural and becoming unnatural. And can you imagine when you having children and babies from these people? That ain't good at all. And now that explains one other thing, is that's why we are, the city's running red with blood, because that's all the politician does is called mischief. And you know what I thought about? Because words are important. And I thought about the word convict and ex-con. They'll put that on your paper if you've never been in prison. And when you get out, they call you an ex-con, and then they'll call you a convict. Now, I wonder why that the guys up there on Capitol Hill, who they call congressmen, congressmen, congressman. Look at that. Investigate that. And look at the wicked and the evil stuff that they are doing to we the people. It's time for the people to stop believing in governments, because governments ain't nothing but Satan themselves. Because just look around in the world today, every place what they have what they call government is blood and sacrifice going on. And ain't no peace. And none of it, no matter where you go on the continent, ain't no peace. How we get to that? Think on that. By deception and lies and imperialism and nothing else. That was your last one, right? Okay.
So I hope we got a great understanding of who the Persians are.